I've enjoyed genealogy and ancestry and things like that off and on in my life. And after we were married, I was curious to learn more about my wife's family. And one branch of her family had an unusually both tragic and heroic story at the same time. A family of four left Europe. So this would be late 1800s, right after the Civil War. And they had heard about this place called Carolina, where a person could go and get some land, and, you know, with the sweat and work of a man's back and a family support, you could make a living. And they thought that sounded good. Things weren't going good at all where they were coming from. So they started selling things off and working their way towards the coast where they could get on a ship, and sold the horses there in town at the docks. That was the last thing they had to sell, was the horses and the wagon, and got on the boat with what money they had and started the ride across. Unfortunately, which wasn't uncommon in those days, there was some kind of illness on the boat, and about halfway across, people started passing. And eventually they did make it to American shores alive, but Mom and Dad passed away shortly after from something they had caught on the boat. So they made it to Carolina, but they didn't get to see it for long. The children were orphaned, obviously, and in those days it was commonplace, I guess, that you could go to the orphanage and pay a fee, and it was kind of like adopting, except you're really just indenturing them, and they work for 2 years before they can be free. And that's what happened to them. They ended up picked up that way and having to survive under the care of someone who didn't care for a couple of years. Long story short, the little girl was the only survivor that made it through everything, and somehow on her wit and character, she made it all the way to Texas by herself, got married, had a big family and lots of descendants, and I married her great-granddaughter. Oh, wow. So that's what this song is about. It's called "Oh Carolina." Oh, Carolina, dreams call from that ground. Brother did his best to walk in father's steps through town, down to the docks and climb aboard. I clutched Mama's dress as we crowded with the rest on a ship bound for the Carolina shore. 30 days of waves at sea, fighting fever and fatigue. Sickness took 10 souls along the way. Me and brother, we survived. Ma and Pa made sure alive, just to lay cold in a Carolina grave. Oh, Carolina, dreams call from that ground. Oh, Carolina, Ma and Pa, they rest there now. Traveling preacher praying on us took us west to Oklahoma. We both did his bid to stay alive. In a moonless midnight call, he sent my brother out alone. I wish I could have held him close that night. Oh, I found my brother dead the next morning. I buried him and then I ran away. Texas where I married. Now they can bury me good down here someday. Oh, Carolina, dreams they call from that ground. Oh, Carolina, dreams they're calling to me now. Down in Texas, 10 years on, with a family of my own. I sure hope Ma and Pa can see me now, 'cause I'm happy living free, just the way they hoped they'd be when they sailed for that Carolina ground. Oh, Carolina, dreams they call from that ground. Oh, Carolina, dreams they're calling to me now. Oh, Carolina, dreams still call from that ground. I can hear them here in Texas, reminding me my life is the Carolina dream I finally found. One more. Oh, Carolina, here we are. Thank you. Carolina.